Hey there, everybody. This is your boy, Young Slade. Just wanted to give you a quick reminder that here at Slade Sports Squad, we do not own any of the copyrights for any of the videos, sound clips, or audio that we will be playing today. Thank you, and I can't wait to get this show going.
If you haven't got problems, I feel bad for your son. I got 99 problems and a bitch ain't one.
Good morning. CBG Productions presents Slade Sports Squad.
Tip my hat to the sun in the west. Feel the beat right in my chest. At the crossroads a second time. Make the devil change his mind. It's a pound of
Welcome to Slade Sports Squad. Right now, I'm joined by my boy, David Slade.
Hey everybody, how you doing out there today? Super Bowl Sunday.
Yep.
We're gonna have our Super Bowl picks later on, but first, we're gonna talk about some local Colorado news. So,
It's a big day for here in Denver.
yeah, it definitely is. We got some good news yesterday.
The big news being that Pat Bowlen, one of the greatest owners in NFL history, and then Champ Bailey, one of the very great people all around.
Both selected for introduction or induction into the Hall of Fame. Pat Bowlen, as a contributor, he's done a lot for the NFL. Where they are at now, where the NFL as a league is, Pat Bowlen had a lot to do with, TV contracts, deals, things like that, moving the NFL in the direction in the mainstream that it's gone in the last 20 or 30 years. So,
right.
And then Champ Bailey, what else do you say about that guy?
Just how I feel about Champ Bailey. Been one of my favorite players growing up. Watched him for a long time. One of the most athletic corners that you'll ever see play the game. If you go back and watch anything that he does on the defensive side of the football, it's just it's crazy. He was known for not necessarily playing man-to-man coverage, but playing the ball, and it worked out for him in his career. Great interceptor, could read the ball. Also a great tackler, just a great athlete all around, and happy to say that he's in the Hall of Fame now.
Yeah, definitely glad to hear that. So, but it's it's good news for the Broncos. Broncos are finally starting to get some recognition, in the NFL. It's been a long time before the Broncos got anybody into the Hall of Fame, and now, we're starting to get people in there, people who deserve to be in there. John Elway, of course, Floyd Little's in there. We got Champ Bailey now, Pat Bowlen, numerous others. So it's good to see that Denver is finally getting the recognition that they deserve.
And then I know you threw something together for them as kind of a tribute to what they did here in their time. Champ Bailey, Pat Bowlen, just great people. And I'm going to play it for you guys real quick and let us know what you think.
Well, and I'm going to say this, and he would not want me to say this, but this one's for Pat.
Now he's back in the shotgun. Broncos will not blitz everybody. Brady flushed and throws in the run. Pass going to be intercepted. Champ Bailey in the end zone. Down the sideline. Bailey, 30, 40, foot race. Bailey steps out of a tackle. Champ Bailey, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Did he get there? He's hit out of bounds, I think, at the 1.
Wow.
Yeah.
Listen to that one, that play.
Right. Just gives you goosebumps.
Yeah, it gives me goosebumps every time, you know.
And I remember exactly what I was doing when I saw that happen. And, it's obviously known as for, the dude who went 99 yards.
Right.
Didn't end up getting the touchdown, but still one of the greatest plays.
It was a game sealer, though, so.
Yeah. And against someone great like Tom Brady, that just goes to show how great Champ Bailey really was.
Yeah, it definitely was, so.
Hats off to, like we said, Pat Bowlen, Champ Bailey. You guys are exactly where you need to be, and you guys deserve this for sure. So.
Right, definitely. So congrats to those Broncos, Hopefully this opens the door many more in the future. We got some older Broncos, that are, really deserving of being in there. Randy Gradishar, Tom Jackson, bunch of people from the the Orange Crush defense that just have not got the recognition. That they just have not got the recognition that they deserve.
And with that being said, like you said, great players now in the Hall of Fame. And with that, we'll head to break. So we'll see you on the other side. I was trying to get you to keep talking so I could pick a song.
Oh, and then I thought you would have already had a pick.
I was kind of all over the place.
Yeah, we just jacked that segment up.
It wasn't that bad.
Well, we forgot to play the clip to go into it. Because I wanted to play that clip right after the Hugo song to lead into it.
Oh.
So, but just have the Nuggets one. I don't know if you want to come in with Nuggets.
I mean, do you want to redo
music?
that? Or
no, because it's live on YouTube.
Okay.
I don't want to delete it.
Yeah, you're right.
So,
we're what?
Broadcasting to YouTube.
I mean,
so,
that's what this is. That's what that's for.
That's what we do. I mean, we got to show that's just real.
Right. Well, we make mistakes just like everyone else, so we'll figure it out.
All right. Hey, everybody. Like the Slade Sports Squad cups.
Yep.
Got a new banner hanging up for us.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right.
You ready to go?
Yeah, let me know.
So, I just need to have the intro for the Nuggets now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me know when you're ready.
I'm good.
Shot is on the way. No. Jokic down. He just scores. Jokic takes his previous career high 23. Jokic has it coming in. Floats it. And the Nuggets keep the pace up. Jokic shoots a three. Got it. Harden trying to get the foul. One-way pass. Torrey Craig. Monte's on the run. Craig for three. He's got the rebound. And Torrey Craig. Can't reach. Stay off him. Harden.
Nuggets back on top in the West. Tiebreak up on the Golden State Warriors.
Nuggets first place in the West. Tiebreak up on Golden State. They're 21 games over 500 for the first time this year as Jokic drops one in. So there's the all-star matchup. They're not guarding each other to start with. Beasley. That's good. So Malik Beasley, who's shooting 43% from three-point land, gives the Nuggets a 4-point.
All right,
man, the Nuggets, boy. Last week, I sat here. We had a huge argument. I said Nuggets aren't ready.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I said is they can't beat the Rockets.
Right.
Rockets came in here, and
with
tell you what, first quarter it looked like same old thing.
Yeah, James Harden going
James
off,
Harden
doing
goes
his
off.
thing.
And the Nuggets just second, third, and most of the fourth quarter,
just took over the ball.
Took it over. So.
And I gotta say this, just right off the top, with everything that has happened with this Denver Nuggets team, dealing with injuries, we beat the Rockets without two of our best players, Jamal Murray and I believe it was Torrey Craig that was out that game. I could be wrong on the second one, but I know for a fact Jamal Murray, one of our top 5 players, obviously a starter on our team, was missing that game. And we still came out and we handled business. We shot the 3 ball really well that night.
We did.
Bunch of contributions from people who usually don't step up in that way, but for the last 2 games have been really holding their own and helping us out the way that they need to be. And with that being said, the way that this Nuggets team just showed out the last 2 games, it's kind of sparked my thought about them, and now there's no question that this team is real for me.
Oh yeah, this team is definitely
it's dangerous.
It is a dangerous team. I mean, if this team plays up to their capabilities, I mean, they can play with anybody in the NBA.
Right.
They have beaten every team in the NBA this year.
Yeah.
There's not a team that we have not beat.
And not only that, I mean, look at what just happened this morning. Mike Malone going to the All-Star game to coach LeBron's team.
Yep, he's coaching LeBron's team.
That just shows.
Jokic got his All-Star appearance, although he's a reserve. I think he deserves much better, but hey.
Easily one of the best centers in the game.
But he's getting his he's getting his recognition now.
Yeah.
So
and as is the whole team, because it's like we were talking about earlier in the season. The last 3 to 4 years with Mike Malone and his coaching staff, they have done nothing but get better.
And they do.
And now we're in a position where, when we lost the number 1 spot to Golden State a couple weeks ago, I thought, okay, now we're at a point where 2 is probably the best that we're going to do. Well, now the Nuggets have broke through that barrier and taken number 1 back. Now we're leading the Western Conference again.
Yeah, I mean, it's on a tiebreaker now, but we're in first.
Yeah.
And it's a good place to be.
And we've won 6 in a row. We're playing great basketball. And it's coming, the season's coming to the, final stretch. We've got something like 30 games left or something like that. And I got to tell you, I feel confident in this Nuggets team that we now, showing what we showed against the Rockets and even the Minnesota Timberwolves, we could not easily, but if everything goes in our favor, we could win the Western Conference.
Well, we could. It's going to be hard. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to sit here and lie and just say, okay, now I believe. That Warriors team is still unbelievable.
Yeah, no,
and there's a big pending trade, that may go down. And that's Anthony Davis. Possibly getting traded to the Lakers.
Right. Which will
what's that do to the Lakers? That makes them a little more of a threat. Yeah, they're going to lose some pieces in the deal.
Yeah, a lot of pieces in the deal.
But he just elevates them to a whole different level.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree.
Davis,
and him and LeBron James on the same team.
Right.
It's a good mixture.
Yeah.
So,
something funny, interesting. I heard yesterday they were doing an interview with Kyrie Irving, and talked about after his contract's up in Boston this year, possibly going to LA to join LeBron to team up with him again. And he said, I really don't want to play with LeBron, and it wasn't a dish against LeBron.
Yeah,
it's all the drama and everything that surrounds him. He said, he said it's
hard to be in the spotlight like Kyrie wants to be around LeBron, because LeBron is, one of the best players the NBA's ever seen. Not only that, he has a lot of stuff going on around him at all times. The dude's surrounded by, not necessarily bad drama, but drama nonetheless. It's just one of those things that the NBA's filled with people who just want to be in the spotlight, and that's why you see all these young players going to teams that don't really have that superstar there.
Right.
Here in Denver, we've got a couple superstars, or one.
We do. This team is building up. We got more than one, because Joker is definitely the superstar, and Murray is the superstar.
Yeah, they don't call him the Blue Arrow for no reason.
Yeah, he's definitely a superstar in this league.
Yep.
And like you said, the Nuggets been winning without him.
Mm-hmm.
He's been banged up a little bit,
which is fine, because that just goes to prove that we have depth on this team.
It does. Look at Malik Beasley stepping up. 35 points against the Rockets.
Right.
Turns around, has a 22-point game. And before this stretch started, I think it was 6 to 7 games were going to be on the road, I believe, is what you and I talked about.
Right.
I really thought this was a huge test for the Nuggets this year.
Right. So this is the last 5 for us, and this is including the game tomorrow night against the Pistons. So we were at the Grizzlies, won that game. At the Pelicans, won that game. Rockets came here, we beat them.
Right.
And then we went to Timberwolves. So 4 out of the last, and then we go to Detroit tomorrow to play the Pistons.
Yeah.
So 4 out of the last 5 have been away from the Pepsi Center. And me and you had talked about, worst case scenario last week, about how many games they were willing to lose, where this could be a manageable situation, and they exceeded all those. They've won 6 in a row, like we talked about earlier, and they're playing good on the road. They're a great young team, and for them to go out to other people's stadiums and play in hostile environments and loud places and stuff like that, and hold their composure and still be able to win the last 6 in a row.
Yeah.
It's just something that, a young team generally doesn't do that.
Right, and they're going on the road now. They're winning these games they should win.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they were 11-11 when we had our last show.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're now 14-11 on the road. They've gone, they've won, and they're winning. They have to go into Detroit, take care of business.
Right.
Detroit's a sub 500 team. You know, Brooklyn's gonna be a little different. I mean, Brooklyn's not great. I mean,
But they have enough power to beat.
Yeah, they're sitting at 6th in the Eastern Conference. You know, and then after that, we go to Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Philadelphia is going to remember what we did to them here in the Pepsi Center.
Yep.
And that's going to be a battle.
That's going to be, but that's also going to be a test for the Nuggets.
That's
like you
said,
they're going to remember. They're going to have a chip on their shoulder, and they're going to come out
and they're going to have two of their key players back.
Right.
You know,
and
Joel Embiid and who was the other that
Ben
was
Simmons.
Yeah, no, it wasn't Ben Simmons. I forget who it was. Jimmy Butler.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So, but they're going to have those two back, so that's going to be a bigger challenge for the Nuggets. And then we come home again, and we got the Heat.
Right.
So we got the Heat, then we got the Kings, and then we're on to the All-Star break.
Yeah.
So, you know, Denver, in my opinion, could basically finish out going into the All-Star break maybe with one more loss.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that Sixers game's going to be really tough.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I'm hoping that we can go into Philly.
Oh,
and
I am
take
too.
it.
You know, if we could go in there riding on a
What would that be? A
11 game win streak into the All-Star break.
Yeah. Then we come back out on the other side, an even better team, and then it's going to be harder to beat us.
Yeah, it definitely is. So, and we have to keep up with Golden State.
Yeah, definitely.
We can't fall behind them because, like I said, we got 2 games left with Golden State, and they're both in Oakland.
Yeah, and that's going to be another tough game. Those are 2 tough games that we could very easily win because we know, like we've been talking about this whole segment, is just this team is talented. And we can hang with any team in the NBA, really. You know, we've proven that we can beat even great players like LeBron James.
Right.
You know?
And these upper tier teams now, the Oklahoma Cities, the Houston Rockets, the Warriors, the Lakers, teams like that, we have to go on the road and beat them now.
Mm-hmm.
We've beat them at home. We have to prove we can do it on the road. Because that's what you're going to have to do in the playoffs.
Right.
You're going to have to be able to go on the road if you're going to win a series and beat these teams.
No, I completely agree. But as it stands, like we talked about, Nuggets at a 6-game Nuggets on a 6-game winning streak, and they're only getting better. We're going into the All-Star break in a couple weeks, and I can't wait to see the Joker and Mike Malone there on Team LeBron, you know. So it's going to be something interesting for these Nuggets, and we'll see how the season plays out. And with that being said, let's say go Nuggets, and I'll see you on the other side.
Yeah, go Nuggets. See you on the other side, y'all.
Pour shots of liquor, drinking out the bottle, smiling at all my pictures.
Ready?
Round the third and headed for home. It's a brown-eyed, handsome man. Anyone can understand the way I feel.
Put me in, coach. Arenado's ready to play. So the Rockies and Arenado, Nolan Arenado was set to go into arbitration, and he wanted $30 million. The Rockies were offering somewhere around $24 million, I think, for 1 year, and they came to a deal before it went to arbitration. $26 million deal
For 1 year.
for 1 year.
Yep.
It's the highest deal, highest 1 year contract for any player that was eligible for arbitration.
Really?
In Major League history.
Wow. So
now the question is, they got him tied up for 2019.
Yeah.
What does this mean? Are the Rockies positioning themselves to sign Nolan to a 10-year, $250 million deal to keep him here as a Rocky forever?
See, that's what I was thinking too, but it really, for me, and I could be completely wrong, and for the Rockies organization, I think it kind of depends on how this year plays out. Now,
I agree. If he disappears like he did at the end of last year,
right,
it's going to be 2 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
His stock's not going to be there.
Right.
But you know what? There's going to be a team that's going to pay him.
Right.
I would not be surprised to see the Yankees come after him.
Well,
hard.
With everything like that we just said, and nothing taken away from Arenado, but he's a great player. He is. But the fact of the matter is, like you said, last year he was absent late in the year. He went in a hitting slump, didn't play the best baseball that we've seen him play. And as someone who is as talented as Arenado, the expectations for him are a little bit higher than everyone else, I believe.
Right.
Because he is one of those players that could take it to the next level and bring your ball club to a better place.
Oh, you can. Nolan Arenado is the pace he's on. He's won 6 Gold Gloves.
Mm-hmm.
He's been top 5 in the MVP voting 3 times.
Yeah.
He's an awesome offensive player.
Right.
He has the potential to go down as one of the greats of all time.
And
but
one of the greatest Rockies of all time.
Oh yeah, definitely one of the greatest Rockies of all time. He'll definitely leave here unless he decides to take his career somewhere else. He'll surpass Todd Helton as the greatest Rocky ever.
Right, which is a tough task because Todd Helton was a godsend for sure.
But Denver or Colorado this year signed Trevor Story to a long-year deal. Maybe we sign Arenado to a long-year deal.
Yeah.
We share up that left side of our defense. And then we'll see what happens. We lost DJ LeMahieu this year. He went to the Yankees, so.
Right.
We'll have a new second baseman coming in.
The thing I think the Rockies need the most is someone like Arenado or Trevor Story to step up in the big games and hit well.
I agree, because both of them, did not play well.
Right. That's where we're missing Todd Helton, really.
Right.
Because he was one of those people that stepped in pressure situations and hit the ball well for us.
Yeah. These guys, missing Todd Helton, but that guy's so old now. He couldn't hit anything.
Right, no, I understand he's out of the game.
But I understand what you're saying. I think that, we need another bat.
Yeah.
We need somebody else. Blackman had an off year last year.
Mm-hmm.
As good as the Rockies were last year, there were a lot of players that had some down years.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and that's something that we need to avoid in the future because this is a good team.
Right.
We have the talent. It's kind of like how the Nuggets were a couple years ago, and I know we were just talking about them. I don't want to stick on that too much, but the Nuggets were struggling because of the fact that they were a younger team, and it seems like even though this isn't as young of a team as the Denver Nuggets were, they're still struggling in the postseason or the late season. When we get there, and that can't happen if you want to be successful.
No, I agree.
Obviously, we need a bat like you were talking about. We need someone to step in, and whether that's Arenado or Trevor Story or whoever it may be, whether it means we bring someone else in or it's someone we already have on the squad.
Right.
We have to figure it out. We have to be able to hit the ball decently in the late games.
And we do because we have a great pitching staff. I'm bummed out that we let Ottavino go.
Right.
I mean, we didn't let him go. I mean, he's a free agent, and
He decided to go
signed
over.
a huge deal with the Yankees, and the Yankees, they have that cap. They can do it, you
Right.
know. They can go out and pay multiple players
Millions.
these huge
Yeah.
contracts that the Rockies, as a small market team, we just cannot afford to do it.
Right.
But we have a great pitching staff. We just need to, hopefully our hitting improves, It's going to be tough. The Dodgers are loaded up,
Yep.
and trying to steal that division away from them is going to be hard.
No, I completely agree.
Yeah, but hey, excited. Spring training starting soon.
Well, I know,
Pitchers
at the
and
end of February, man.
Pitchers and catchers report. I'm not sure what day they report, but has to be soon. Let me see. I'll tell you right now when the Rockies pitchers and catchers, if I can find it. If not, no big. Oh, the first team is the Arizona or Oakland Athletics. They're reporting February 11th. Pitchers and catchers. So we're less than 2 weeks away. A week away from tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
It'll be. I mean, I'm ready. I'm excited. I can't wait. This year, I made it a goal to myself to be able in the position to take the day off of work so I can go to Rockies opening day.
yeah.
And I'm gonna do whatever I can to get there because I've never been, and I hope it's
No, and I've never been either. I would love to go. I think it's a good spectacle to go and take in, just the atmosphere. Colorado Rockies pitchers and catchers report February 13th. Position players report February 18th.
Right.
So
Well, they better be ready because I think that this is one of those years. It's kind of it changes the direction of your team. Whether you have to be more aggressive and try to push your hand to being a better baseball team in the postseason, or whether it's kind of like a situation as the Denver Broncos. It's like a rebuild, So we'll
I'm
see.
excited.
Yeah.
We got the Nuggets, finishing up. We got the Rockies. They're going to start up pretty soon. And then we have our Colorado Avalanche.
Which let's
Which I have no idea what happened to this team. This team started out, that top line was on fire. They were the best line in the NHL.
Yeah.
This team now is on the brink of, and I think after their loss last night, they may not even be in the, they're sitting on the outside.
looking in
For the playoffs. I mean, this team, their last 10 games, they're 3-7. The team has just been bad.
Yeah.
Lately.
It seems like they're. I mean,
and they're not just losing; they're getting blown out.
Right. They just lost last night, 5-1.
Right.
In hockey.
Right.
Hockey.
Well, and it happens now since they've sort of changed the rules in hockey. You don't get a lot of those 2-1 games anymore. So, but I mean, they've opened it up because every sport, we just want to score.
Yeah, it's just got to be fast and flashy, all that. No, I get it. Like I said off air, I'm not a huge hockey fan. I don't really understand all the concepts of it. But what I do understand is that from a sports perspective, this team is not in a good place right now.
No, it definitely is not. I mean, it looked like it was. It looked like this team had turned the corner. And I don't know what happened.
Something, the wheels fell off somewhere. They obviously have to go back to basics now and kind of figure out where they're doing the things wrong.
And they can still make a run,
right?
And make it.
No, I'm not saying
into the playoffs, but right now I just don't see it. The goaltending is bad. The line, we're not scoring the goals that we used to.
Right.
This team just has lost its mojo somewhere, and they need to find it. And I mean, I was hoping maybe after the All-Star break they would come out, and have a little bit more to go with them, but no. Yeah. I mean, they're just not. I don't know. So they're missing something on that team. I don't know if it's coaching that or what. You have to be able. Unfortunately, as a coach, you have to be able to motivate your players. And if you can't motivate your players and the team loses, guess what? You're not going to have a job for long.
And not only that, do you have to motivate your players. Things like this are bound to happen in an NHL season with the fact that it's a sport, nonetheless.
Right.
There's going to be ups and downs, and you have to figure out what your team is doing right and what you're doing wrong. And that's your job as a coach to kind of guide the fixture, lead the team so you can fix what's wrong so that way you can make those runs. And I understand that sometimes it's out of your hands, but this is not one of those situations, it seems like. Like you said, it seemed like the Avs were ready to turn the corner, be a top-notch program, and then they fell off.
Right.
So talent is not an excuse anymore. The fact of the matter is that we have to figure out what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong. And the way we've been playing, most likely what you're doing wrong is more than what you're doing right.
Yeah, when you start going on 6-game losing streaks, then you win, then you lose 3. Here's what they did. They lost 3, won 1, lost 1, lost 6, won 1, lost 3.
Right.
You're not gonna make it that way.
You're getting wins far in between.
Right.
Like you can't. That's not a recipe for success.
No, it's not.
So we'll see what's going on with these Avs. We got a lot of question marks over them. But as for the Rockies, we were just talking about them. Nolan Arenado getting a 1-year, $26 million deal.
Yeah.
He'll be back
Good
next
news
year.
for the Rocks.
Yep. And with that being said, we'll see you on the other side, and we'll talk about Super Bowl Sunday.
All right. Sounds good. See y'all on the other side.
For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, y'all. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5%.
All right, everybody. This is David.
And this is Alex.
We're back here on the Squadcast.
And you know what day it is?
It's Super Bowl Sunday.
Let's go. So we got a great game coming up today. The LA Rams versus the New England Patriots down there in Atlanta, Georgia. And man, I haven't been excited for a Super Bowl like this in a long time. And
I'm really excited. And I'll give you my pick at the end of the segment, but this is shaping up to be
a historical game.
A good, I wouldn't say historical, but probably a classic.
Yeah.
This has all the elements to make it that type of game.
Right.
That's the thing you don't see in the Super Bowl anymore. You don't see a lot of blowouts anymore.
No.
Last time there was a blowout was when the Broncos got blown out by the Seahawks.
We don't talk about that here.
Yeah,
So.
I know we're not supposed to. So, but it's the Super Bowls have become a lot more competitive,
Right.
Which is good for the NFL because I mean, who wanted to watch Super Bowls when teams were getting beat 55-10?
No, and I went to
Or
sleep at halftime.
42-10.
I went to sleep at
Or
halftime.
39-20, I mean, the Broncos, it kills me to say this, they've been on the short end of some beatdowns.
Yep.
In Super Bowl.
Yeah, throughout team history, the time.
Right.
So.
And it's nice now that you got these games that you can stay engaged in. And it doesn't become, let's
Boring.
watch the commercials.
Right.
I
know a lot of
Third
people
quarter,
are-
everybody's watching the commercials because the game's over. But it's not like that anymore, and it's good. It keeps people engaged,
Right.
The NFL wanted parity in the NFL. They've got it. It's good for the game.
Right.
I wish they would tweak some of the rules back to bring it more in line with
The game's changing.
a defensive philosophy, but
It's like we were talking about in the NHL.
it's like
People
we're-
want to see scores.
right, and that's
so.
exactly what it is. People want to see scores. It's almost like watching arena football anymore.
Right.
But But it is what it is. I think this has a good chance, to
Be one of the
be
games.
a great game.
Yeah, one of the games that you talk about for years.
Yeah.
So let's get down to business real quick, okay?
All right.
Let's start with everyone's least favorite team in the NFL.
The Patriots.
Yeah, so.
Well, the Patriots are the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
They get where they are because they're a great team.
Literally,
you can't argue it.
Yeah.
You can't sit here and say, "Oh, they're just lucky."
Mm-hmm. No, luck doesn't give you 6 rings.
Or
Five. Sorry.
But when you go to 9 Super Bowls, you're not lucky.
No.
It's just like when the Buffalo Bills went to 4 straight Super Bowls. They weren't lucky.
They were a talented team.
They were a very good team. They just came out on the short end in the Super Bowls and lost all 4 of them.
Right.
But you know what? To go 4 times in a row, that says something.
Mm-hmm.
The Patriots. I mean, this team is built, to just bring players in, plug them into their system, and they're not superstars.
No, they
We've
utilize.
talked about this before.
Right.
I mean,
There's great coaching. They develop the players where they're best known for, and they utilize the talents that they have.
They do, and that's what they're good at.
Mm-hmm.
They don't try to take somebody and make them do something that they can't do.
Right, which a lot of teams in the NFL have fallen habit to.
Right.
You know?
You bring a guy in, and you now want him to fit your system.
Right.
Instead of using his talent. I mean, look what Kansas City did with Mahomes. You
Right.
know?
No.
They bring that guy in, they use his talents.
Yeah, they build the team around him.
Right, they
Just
don't
like
say-
this team in New England has built their team around Tom Brady and Bill Belichick.
Well, and the thing is, though, Tom Brady can go out,
Yeah,
and that team's still going to win.
yeah.
I mean, will they go to 9 Super Bowls? Probably not.
No.
Because, I mean, this guy, arguably, and I hate to say it,
Is
he's the greatest quarterback of all time.
right. People don't call him the GOAT just for fun.
Right. He smells like a goat, probably. That's why they call him the goat.
I mean,
When you cheat that much.
yeah.
So.
I mean, whatever it is, you know.
But it's just, I mean, when Garoppolo came in, he filled in for some games. He did good.
Right.
Who's the guy that played there? Brady hurt his knee in the first game of the season. This guy played all year. Was it Castle, I think?
Oh, yeah,
And
Matt
then he
Castle,
went to
yeah.
the Chiefs,
Yep.
and didn't do good at the Chiefs.
Right.
So it shows that system, you can take players and plug them into it, and they're going to be successful.
Right.
Now, yeah, they're not going to be successful as Tom Brady.
Right. And even when they brought in Garoppolo and even Matt Castle, they adapted that system to that quarterback a little bit,
Yeah, they would lean on their strengths a little bit.
Well, we all knew that Garoppolo was a little more agile, a little more mobile than
Right.
Tom Brady. So what a lot of the times you would see is him doing, similar things to the RPO, not quite RPO,
Right.
but rollouts, designed rollouts, quarterback runs, stuff like that. And that's really what it boils down to, is that you have the greatest quarterback of all time, and then you have one of the greatest coaches in NFL history.
Yeah, and you can't argue with that either.
Right.
I mean, as much as people despise the Patriots,
The dude knows what he's doing every time he goes out on the field.
Yeah, you can't sit here and argue this. You can't say, "Oh, well, Bill Belichick, it's one of the greatest."
And he's going to go down in history as one of the greatest.
Right.
When people talk about the NFL years from now,
show me another coach that's taken a team to the Super Bowl 9 times.
can't.
Well, no, he hasn't gone 9 because Parcells took him to 1, I
Right.
believe.
So 8.
Right.
But
I mean,
you can't. You really can't. There's probably, I could be completely wrong, but there's probably not another coach out there as successful as Bill Belichick.
no, there is not.
And that's really what it. So while we're talking about the AFC, there's another side of the game that we haven't talked about yet, and that's the NFC.
Well, let me rewind just a minute, though,
Okay.
and just say how this game, and I think it was 16 years ago, this is when the Patriots dynasty started, 16 years ago,
Right.
against the Rams. The Rams were the favorite, going into the Super Bowl. That's when they were the greatest show on turf, and they had Kurt Warner, and this team could just score at will, and they do whatever they want, and the Patriots beat them.
Right.
Last second field goal by Vinatieri. They beat the Rams, and that has started this run since 2002.
Right.
So for the last 16 years, they've been in more Super Bowls than they have not been in.
Right.
So,
And that's just that stat as one stat just proves how great this football team really is.
right.
And like I was getting into before, that was a great stat, all that. But we got to talk about the NFC. We got to talk about the LA Rams. So we've been talking about the divisional round and the championship rounds were really old school versus new school, passing of the torch kind of thing. And I still
I mean, it was, it's like passing it from Breeze to Jared Goff in the AFC. I think that NFC, I'm sorry, and then I think in the AFC, you had it where it was going to be, Brady passing it to Mahomes,
right? And it just didn't happen like that.
It didn't happen,
and that
because somebody on the Chiefs decided to line up off sides.
Right.
They get a pick to seal the deal, and the guy lines up off sides.
Right.
And it's not like the guy was just trying to get a good jump,
Because he didn't even really blitz.
No, he didn't. He wasn't trying to get a good jump to get pressure on the court. He just lined up off sides.
He was unaware of the situation and didn't he didn't check his surroundings.
Yeah.
And that's the way the game went. And
Right.
that's how it goes. And we still have, and that's basically what my point is that in this playoffs there's been a theme. And that theme so far is who's better, the younger or the older, And we're going to get a version of that tonight with Jared.
We are. Jared Goff and Tom Brady. I
Right.
mean, that's young versus old right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's old timing man and, a little young buck. And, I mean, I'm ready for it.
Right.
It's going to be exciting. It's going to be a great game.
Right. Well, so let me ask you this before.
Yeah.
So, we got two teams, and I want you, just off the top of your head, give me 3 things that the Patriots have to do to win this ball game tonight.
They have to stop Donald.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Donald cannot get 2 or 3 sacks.
Right.
If that guy disrupts the center, if he disrupts from the middle, where Tom Brady doesn't have the opportunity to step up, because that's where Tom Brady excels. Tom Brady's not a guy who's going to scramble out of the pocket.
Right.
He usually steps up. Well, you're going to get that pressure from Donald and Sue.
Mm-hmm.
If that pressure's there, that's going
to disrupt his time
Right.
and his everything,
The Patriots also, their defense isn't the greatest.
Is this number 2?
Yeah,
Okay.
number 2. Their defense, they need to limit the big plays by the Rams.
Okay.
Because that's a big play offense. McVay's going to come out with some wrinkles. And the Patriots need to be able to slow them down.
I know. I've heard a couple people. I've talked to a couple of friends of mine this week, and they say that the Rams aren't really a deep threat kind of team. Well, you're kind of wrong when you say that.
And I wouldn't even say they're a deep threat team, but it's just what they use.
But Jared Goff can rip the ball downfield.
Oh, he can. He can rip the ball downfield. But they're also good at, hitting these crossing patterns and running.
Right. And even the, bubble screens and
right, things like that.
throws.
So they're not going to come down there and sling the ball like Kansas City does. But,
right.
A big play just doesn't have to be a 40-yard pass, A big play can be a 20-yard run by Gurley,
right.
A 15 or 20-yard catch and run by,
mm-hmm.
one of the receivers or tight. I mean, things like that is what they need, that the Patriots need to control.
Right.
They can't give them too many of those plays.
Okay. So you got number 2 at defense, limit big plays.
Right.
So what's your number 3?
My number 3 for the Patriots to beat the Rams is Bill Belichick needs to be able to outsmart Wade Phillips. Because Wade Phillips has always matched up well against Belichick.
Right, and they had 2 weeks to prepare both of them. So
yeah, Wade Phillips is going to come out with a
crazy
exotics. He will. He's going to have it's going to be, in my opinion, crazy, but it's going to be controlled. That's one thing about Wade Phillips. He's controlled in what he does. He doesn't just come out there and just go nuts, you know?
Right.
So.
He doesn't show everything too early. He holds off. Okay.
Right. So now let me ask you,
Mm-hmm.
what are 3 things the Rams need to do to beat the Patriots?
Okay, number 1's got to be Todd Gurley.
Okay.
He's been absent the last couple weeks. I know he's been fighting an injury. And not only Todd Gurley, just the running game in general. So the offensive line, C.J. Anderson, and Todd Gurley all have to play very well tonight. They have to be able to control that clock.
I agree.
And on short yardage and third down and short, they have to be able to run the ball and get those.
That's where you got C.J.
Right.
You know, the
little
human bowling ball, you know.
Right.
Just bring him in there and just let him knock it around. So,
So number 1 for me is run the ball effectively.
Okay.
Number 2, it's got to. I know 2 of these 3 are going to be on the offensive side of the ball, but Jared Goff's got to play. He's got to come up with big plays in big scenarios, and he's got to be able to hold his composure within this big game.
Right.
This is a Super Bowl. This is the biggest stage you're going to get, and if you can't hold yourself in this situation or this scenario, it's going to be very apparent, and all eyes are on you, man. So at this point, Jared Goff has to live up to what he's gotten the team this far. And not only him, you know, obviously this has been a team effort. You don't get to the Super Bowl on one person's back. But Jared Goff has to be the main contributor. He has to at least get 300 yards passing and 2 touchdowns if they want to win this game.
Right.
And, yeah, really that's number 2 for me. And then moving on to number 3 is the biggest one, I think. Patriots, like you said, don't have really huge name receivers. I know that they are playmakers, and that's where it goes to the defensive side of the ball for me. The secondary in the Rams has to live up to all the hype. With Marcus Peters, Aqib Talib, and their strong and free safety, they have to be on the same page. They have to be able to force turnovers or tough, tight windows that Tom Brady may or may not be able to make. You know, if it comes late to the game and whoever Tom Brady throws the ball to makes a great catch and, you know, it's great coverage, whatever, that happens. But if you're giving up early possessions, you know, early catches and receptions between Tom Brady and his receiver and they get into a rhythm, you're going to find yourself in trouble late in the game. And that's something that the secondary for the Rams cannot do tonight. Talib knows this, and he needs to let his team know that they already messed up earlier in the week. Some of the people in the secondary on the Rams came out and said that Tom Brady's getting too old. And what you did then was spark a fire under Tom Brady's ass, and he messed up.
Well, and now that you've made that, you have to go out and back that up.
Right.
You know?
Go show the world that Tom Brady is getting too old.
Right. You know?
Because if you don't...
And I'm going to say, he's lost a little bit.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, the guy's what? 41, almost 42 years old?
I think he just turned 41.
So, I mean, it's like, come on. I mean, the guy's getting, but man, he can still ball.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, that's another key of mine is how do the Rams slow down Edelman and Gronk? If you slow those 2 down, you got to slow down 1 or the 2.
Right.
You got to decide which one you want to let get their yards.
Right.
And what I would do, I would let Gronk get his yards.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you saw what happened when Edelman got his yards against the Atlanta Falcons in the second half of that Super Bowl.
Right.
They won the game because Edelman took over that game with Tom Brady. You know, whatever they had going on that game worked for them. And we haven't really seen that from Gronk in a Super Bowl yet, where he takes over the game. So we like you said, let Gronk get his. Let him get his catches. If it means a couple first downs or something like that early in the game, give it to him.
Right.
But late in the game, throw some, like we said, you know, Wade Phillips is going to come out there and throw some things out Tom Brady that he's probably seen before, but it's not very common, you know?
Right. And Tom Brady's seen almost everything.
Right.
You know,
great.
And he's good at checking out, but your defense has to be able to react to his counter, and that's where you have to be successful. So if you come up and you line up, and Tom Brady reads your defense, and he audibles out, now you better be able to
switch your defense
to match up with what Tom Brady's going to do. And this is going to be a cat and mouse game between Belichick and Wade Phillips all game, you know. But your on-field guys, they have to be able to spot these little subtleties, you know. Make sure that, hey, Edelman's lined up here in this slot. You got two receivers bunched up here. Guess what? Tony Romo called it 99% of the time. When they lined up in that formation, guess what happened? Edelman went right down the middle, sat right in the middle, and was wide open. Kansas City did not change. They did not react to that. The Rams have to be able to. You cannot let Edelman do that to you.
And that's what I was talking about. Talib and Marcus Peters have to step up tonight. And everybody else in that secondary. Whether you're a substitute, a nickel corner, I don't care. Tonight is the night where you put it out all out on the line. And if you want that ring, you're going to have to play your hardest for it. Because Tom Brady is not someone you can just walk by.
Oh, yeah. He's not going to roll over and let you just have this. No. You know, this is going to be a dogfight. It's going to be awesome. Okay. You know, in my opinion. This is going to be a great Super Bowl to watch.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I'm not going to be able to. I got to go to work at 10 o'clock tonight, so I might not be able to watch everything. But
record it.
Yeah, it'll be something I'll definitely check back in on. So, with that being said, we've gone through what we think needs to happen for both these teams to win the game. Right now, we're going to give our predictions. What I want is you to give a score prediction, and then who you think your or the Super Bowl MVP is going to be.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
So who you got?
I got the Rams winning. Final score is going to be 34-23. My MVP is going to be defensive tackle Aaron Donald. I think he's going to get 2.5 to 3 sacks. Maybe even cause a forced fumble.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, I know I've been talking about the Rams for a while now, since they've been making this playoff run, and I won't take anything away from them. Great football team. They've gotten here because they're a great football team. Right. But we've counted out Tom Brady for too many years. You know, he's always been.
I don't think anybody's counted this dude out.
I mean, not counting him out, but they have been forced into.
I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh, the Patriots aren't what the Patriots are, or were."
Right.
You know.
Well, that's where I disagree. I think the Patriots are just as good as they've ever been. And because of that reason, I think the Patriots win it, and I think it's a close game. It's going to be 31-23.
31-23.
Yeah.
Okay. And MVP?
Tom Brady.
4
touchdowns, over 400 yards.
Wow.
Yeah.
Against the Rams defense?
He's gonna solidify the reason people call him the GOAT.
Okay, let me ask you this question. Mm-hmm. Who has a better offense? The Saints or the Patriots?
The Patriots.
You think so?
I do. I think Drew Brees has shown his age, and I think that even though they have Alvin Kamara and some youthful players on their team, and they've utilized those youthful players, I think that as a whole, the Patriots have made their offense what it is, and it's one of the best in the league.
Yeah.
Especially during
no, they're good. My opinion, I think the Saints have a better offense, all-around offense than the Patriots do. Mm-hmm. And the Rams were able to slow down the Saints in the Superdome.
Right.
I think that they can do the same here against the Patriots. Yeah, I don't see Tom Brady passing for over 400 yards, but I see where you're coming from.
Dude's the greatest quarterback of all time.
You know what? You're the greatest quarterback of all time, but that's fine. Peyton Manning was one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, too. Look how many yards he had when Denver beat Carolina in the Super Bowl.
That was a defensive
What did he have, 118 yards in passing?
Yeah, it was a defensive standoff in that Super Bowl.
So
the difference is now is that Patriots don't have a high-powered defense like the Rams do. So even though I understand that the Rams have a great defense, but Tom Brady's going to – that's why I think that this is going to be such a great game, is that the Rams are going to hold up. Tom Brady's going to get his. He's going to get a lot of yards and stuff like that. But he's going to go that extra mile, and he's going to get those 400-plus yards and solidify himself as an MVP.
I think it's going to be a great game.
So
yeah,
I do too.
I definitely do not want to see the Patriots win another Super Bowl.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I don't want them to win. But
you just think they are. I understand that.
So
But my preseason pick was the Rams were going to win the Super Bowl, and I'm going to stick with it.
Right. It's definitely crazy.
I think that defense that they have, is just too dang good.
Right.
So, you know what, everybody? Football season's over. It's
Yep.
a sad day.
I mean,
We'll be back next week.
A little bit crushed inside,
Yeah, I am too. We'll be back next week. We'll break down the Super Bowl. One of us will be eating crow.
Wait, but what's after the Super Bowl? Off season, draft day.
Yep.
And the combine.
Yep, we start getting ready for the combine. We start looking at needs for the Nuggets, the Broncos.
Yeah. And we still have, like you said, the Nuggets. We still got the Nuggets. So
we have the Nuggets going on still. We'll have the Rockies, rolling. So we're going to keep it going.
Yeah.
But I just want to say it's been a great NFL season.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing this, Alex.
Oh,
I
yeah,
enjoyed
thanks
doing it with you.
Yeah, this has been a great season. So
But
with that, we'll sign off here, and we'll see you next week.
we're out.
Too many make it coming through our town. Looking for a detour, nowhere to be found. When the pressure's on, seems nobody's around.
Nice.
Hey, bad 52 minutes.
Yeah, not bad at all. Usually, remember when we did we had those many topics before?
Yeah.
We were talking.